another instalment of Afternoons at the Aussies. We knew today was going to be a big day, and it certainly delivered on that from all angles. This is your daily debrief show. My name is Sam Jordan, sitting alongside current, and I'm still saying it, current Australian Ironwoman champion Georgia Fitzsimmons, and our expert of the sand. Welcome to Afternoons at the Aussies as well, Nathan Breen. Nath, it must be a great honour to be on this show.
It is an absolute honour to be on with these two legends, but no, great to be here, and what a day we've had.
Hey, I do have to apologise for being a little bit past 5 o'clock as well, local time. That's because I actually just ran up the beach from racing in the Open Taplin semi-finals this afternoon. I had to find a pair of shorts and a t-shirt because that is the kind of day that we've just had here at North Kira Beach for day 2 of the Australian Open Championships as well. There was action absolutely everywhere you looked, whether it was in any of the water arenas behind us, whether it was down at the boats, whether it was the beach sprint arena as well. It was an incredible day of racing, Nath.
Yeah, it certainly was. Started the morning with the 2Ks as well in the Kira Beach Arena.
Actually, and a medal as well. Thank you very much for reminding me. And a medal.
Yeah, I didn't want to bring it up for that reason. Only because it's where the day started. That's the only reason I brought it up.
Sure.
Well, thank you for it.
No, but it's been a great day. And it's been a really long day, as you said, and a lot of athletes backing up and doing events outside of their comfort zone as well. And there was actually one athlete who did do the 2K, Sienna Bush, and then went straight back up. She's very, very good for North Burleigh, and there's been plenty of other events doing things and jumping in teams as well where, you know, they're just doing it, and that's a good thing about our sport. There is a team-first mentality, and we saw that at the end of the day with the Taplins as well.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I realised that I just actually pulled my bung out that I had in my pocket as well. Georgia, it almost feels like a lifetime ago that we arrived here at North Kira Beach today, wondering about the conditions too. That was the big talking point heading into today. What a day we had in terms of condition and the racing that it allowed us to see as well.
Yeah, the conditions really turned it on, Sam, and we saw a decrease in swell overnight, which was great to see because conditions were challenging yesterday,
there were plenty of people
doubt.
breathing a sigh of relief this
Absolutely.
morning.
So we saw a lot of events get done today, which was fantastic to see. So we're waiting for that program for tomorrow, but a lot of events ticked off through to finals, and looking forward to the next couple of days of racing.
Yeah, that's right. It is a big show this afternoon as well. We are going to be running through all of the action that we have seen across the course of the day as well. We're going to hear from our 2 Australian Open beach sprint champions as well. Very much looking forward to that. But for now, let's go right back to the start of the day and begin with the board races as well, because after the Open men got through a round of the board yesterday, the Open female board paddlers started today. We now have our finals set. Let's start with the Open men's board because this was a really interesting way to kick off racing today. It was tight racing and there were so many upsets as well.
Yeah, didn't we see some huge knockouts in not only the semi-finals, the heats and quarters? Some really big names went out. So incredibly tight racing, lots of frustrated people, lots of really excited people. So a mixed bag there, but the board semis are always the toughest, I say.
And look at the waves that were coming through as well. So this is semi-final number 2 that we can see on screen at the moment, and that race really did open up. It was Jack Johns from Swansea Belmont who took that one out, but plenty of the talk around the beach was in those who didn't get into that final as well, and it's some of the biggest names in our sport and some of the best board paddlers that we've seen. We're talking about Charlie Verco, we're talking about Cruz McKee, Ali Day and Matt Bevilacqua as well. Nate, you spent a bit of time around those water areas today as well. You saw the standard of racing, and I guess we always say that once you're into a quarter final of the Australian titles, anyone can go on to make the final 16, and that's what we saw today.
Yeah, absolutely. And there was a number of people, we did a couple of interviews on the beach, and they said the semi-finals, they get more nervous for the semis than they actually do the final. And speaking of Cruz, you could see he had Cruz McKee miss out. You could see he had that extra bit of fire in his belly in the Taplin, and that's a good thing about being able to back up and having a really condensed program today. They don't have to dwell on it overnight. They can actually back up, put it beside them, and then go again. Yeah,
we can bring you the start list for that final that is going to be held on Sunday as well. Of course, liveheats.com is where you are able to see all of that details, but this is our final 16, and a couple of names really pop out on that screen there. Connor Maggs from Mermaid Beach just seemed to do everything right going through those rounds as well. I love the story of Angus McPhail from Manly. He's been paddling really well. He didn't make the New South Wales final, and he certainly responded in kind today. And gee, George, there's so many names in there. The next generation, we're seeing them now. Ethan Callahan, another one that stands out.
Yeah, he is a fantastic racer. But another name from that first page that I'm going to look out for is Zach Morris. He's going for his 3rd in a row.
You almost forget that in all of the chaos of today, don't you?
So what else I'd love to see there is Tannen Linden. So he's one of the old boys of the field, I would say. So it's great to see him going to be in that final on Sunday.
And also Corey Fletcher, who is racing with a broken foot as well. That is nothing short of extraordinary. Let's take a look at the Open Women's Board Final as well, because that was also set after back-to-back racing too, flying through those rounds in what was really tricky conditions as well. 16 into that final. We have that open male board race final on screen. We will bring you those that open female board final in a moment. But George, you're just speaking to the quality that we have in that field as well. It's never going to be, it's never going to be easy to make that final, and we seem to have a lot of our big names who we are expecting towards the front of Sunday's race into the decider.
Yeah, we didn't see too many upsets in the rounds for the women, so a lot of big names making this final of 16. A big noticeable one there is Lily O'Sullivan. She is our reigning world board champion, so you can't go past her. Also, Lizzie Wellborn, fantastic board paddler. So, yeah, they're the ones I'm going to watch out for on Sunday, that's for sure. Brodie Trinker as well. She has a title to her name, Hannah Scully. So some phenomenal athletes that are going to be lining up on Sunday.
Yeah, that's right. Now, that was the very start of the day that we did the individual board races. At the very end of the day, like Nath just mentioned, was those open Taplin relay races. That men's arena was absolutely buzzing with all of the energy and the anticipation as well, because it really is that race that everyone wants to be in on Sunday.
They sure do, and there's a lot of things just making some of those. The clubs with a lot of depth. We saw Wanda get 2 teams in the final. I don't think they've ever done that before, and there's some of those other clubs that are showing they've got the depth, not only the 17s and 19s actually going in it as well, but there's a lot of athletes who just want to be in that team, and once they do that, then they set the bar to the next level. So that's what we're seeing in the Taplin, and it's the final event on Sunday for a reason.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We also have that final now locked in. We'll bring you that start list to see who he's going to be featuring in the last race of the season. So much excitement around that one as well. They were really cutthroat semi-finals. And it was a couple of feel-good stories in there as well. Swansea Belmont, they've been knocking on the door for the last few years, led by Greg Tobin, who we saw go around and win medals in the Masters competition. He's bringing through that next generation. Of course, Mermaid Beach, a lot of excitement around them this year after a big off-season of recruiting. Wanda really showing their club depth by getting their B team in there. North Cliff Team A, of course, you would have to say. Gee, they are the ones to beat, aren't they, Georgia?
Oh, yes, you'd have to say that. And I mean, they're reigning champs for a reason. So, yeah, they're definitely ones to beat. But in these conditions, I think we're going to see a lot of mix-ups over the course of the weekend.
Yeah, really exciting. Burleigh Mowbray Park with a couple of teams in there as well. Sorrento's A team from Western Australia. They were right on the bubble throughout that semi. So much noise as they were coming into those closing legs as well. Your traditional heavyweights right there too. You've got, Northcliffe B, who are, just as good as the A team as we saw at the Queensland State titles. Wanda, Burleigh Heads, Mowbray Park, Currumbin, Newport, all of their A teams in the mix as well in what is going to be an incredible final come Sunday. The women's Taplin final races are going to be held tomorrow. We cannot wait to see those ones get underway. So that was the start and the finish of the day, and somewhere in the middle as well we had the Ironman races too, which they were the first events we saw the skis go out into the water, and it really was an element of the unknown, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think they were all extremely keen to get out on their skis. So there was no warm-up for skis this morning, so they were jumping on their skis for the first time in these iron heats this morning, and there was a few little nervous faces. We saw some thrills and spills, that's for sure, but yeah, they're really tough, and we saw the heats and the quarters take place, and some of those quarters look like they could be a final. We saw some big names go out in Dan Collins from Redhead, which was so unfortunate because he was right there in the mix, but unfortunately just couldn't put that last leg together.
The 2024 Australian Ironman champion, in that quarterfinal alone, there was 10 athletes from the Shaw and Partners Iron Series, and that is a result of, so much competition through the opening heats of the Open Ironman is that, not everyone was finishing at the front of those races, and as a result, everyone gets shuffled around. And, as we were saying just a moment ago in the board races, if you're in a quarter, you're good enough to make that final as well. So
imagine what the semis are going to be like, Sam.
Oh, unbelievable. We cannot wait to see those semi-finals. We're expecting those to be tomorrow. That schedule isn't out yet at this point in time, but it should be out quite soon, so we will get an indication of that as well. So the Ironman, the Ironwoman races, really exciting, and we love seeing those today. But I do have to say, not as much as we love seeing the beach events as well. Nath, this is something that we always love at the Australian titles. There is such incredible depth in beach sprinting in this country and also internationally as well. And we really saw that in the Open Female Beach Sprint Final too.
Yeah, we did, and we're going to have a look at the footage here of the Open Men's by the look of it first. Yeah. So we see, and get a little bit of a stumble there from Asher Ward, unfortunately, but came through in the end. He's Oh, no, that might be... No, that is. And he's the only man in the final wearing budgies. So I wonder if that had anything to do with it, Sam. Do you reckon it had something to do with it?
Well, you know what? We're actually going to be speaking to Asher in just a few moments as well. So no doubt that is a question we are going to have to put to him too. But look, like I mentioned, really even race. And we've seen that over the last few years too, that, you know, there is such depth in our beach sprinting stocks, isn't there?
There is, and there seems to be a translation, like we've talked about Michael Hanna before, he's won a few, and there's a couple of veterans, including Jacko Simons, which finished on the podium again. He's won 4 of them, but he's still back and still mixing it with the best we've got to offer. So there is a bit of a translation between sort of that professional grass, like the handicap running scene, and as well to the beach, and we see some track sprinters going across, and we've seen some beachies go across to represent Australia at the Olympic Games. Similar, there's probably almost as many beachies who've made the Olympic Games as there is ski paddlers. So I'm talking about Brie Masters and people like that. So, yeah, it really is really good to see the athletes cross over multiple disciplines, and then it goes to show this event is a breeding ground for some of Australia's best athletes, not just in this sport, but in so many others.
Nath, you've upset some old ski paddlers at home who are watching this at the moment. So I think the record books are going to be looked at the moment. Let's talk about the Open Female Beach Sprint Final as well, because it was a really great story. Brianna Irving, representing a club from New Zealand as well, coming out on top.
Yeah, Waikani in New Zealand. She was the overall winner, which means Talia Sunderland has won her first ever Australian title.
That's right. It's a great quirk of the Aussies, isn't it?
Yeah, unbelievable. And it's as an individual, of course. She's won one as a beach relay, but I don't think she's won any in the age groups as well. So she's come through from Currumbin and taken the gold medal as first Australian. But that was pretty convincing win there in the end by Brianna, and quite strong in the end. And you can tell there's so much that goes into this, so much gym and strength work as well that goes into good beach sprinting, and it's such a different action to track sprinting, which is why sometimes we see good athletes do well on the beach and not so well on the track, and vice versa. But they don't actually get to, unlike some of the water competitors, they don't actually necessarily get to see the absolute best of them until the Aussie champ. So there's a lot of unknowns coming in terms of form. Yeah,
that's exactly right. Brianna unable to be here this afternoon. We are going to be speaking to Asher in just a moment, but let's take a listen to the words of our Open Female Beach Sprint champion after that race, Brianna Irving.
Righty, we are down on the beach now with the newest Australian beach sprint champion, who's actually from New Zealand. You're the only competitor here, Brianna Irving from Waikani. Congratulations. How does it feel to be an Australian champion?
Oh, it feels absolutely amazing. It's been a rough year of training so far, so I'm absolutely stoked to get out here and race against such a strong field and come away with the win.
Now, you've had some international experience before. You've raced for the Blackfins, the New Zealand life-saving team. How does that compare to an Australian championships?
Yeah, the Blackfins is an amazing experience. We have such a strong team and the culture is just incredible. So it's very different coming here and being by myself, but so many of the Blackfins are here as well. So it feels like we still have a strong culture even over in Australia.
Well, the village will follow you wherever you are. For those who are watching across the ditch who are so excited to see the Waikani cap not only in action but winning an Australian gold medal, what would you like to say to them?
Yeah, just a huge shout out to Waikani. It's been the only surf club in New Zealand that I've ever been part of, so I've been there since day one. So yeah, just follow your dreams and dream big.
And you too could become an Australian champion just like this lady, Brianna. Congratulations. We will let you go and celebrate. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
A huge congratulations to our Open Female Beach Sprint champion, Brianna Irving, and a huge congratulations to our Open Men's Beach Sprint champion, Asher Ward, who is joining us on the show this afternoon. I expected the gold medal to be around the neck. We should have got the gold medal around your neck as well.
Yeah, it's just over there. I probably could have grabbed it, but nah, it's good to get a win.
Mate, congratulations. How are you feeling? Has it all soaked in?
Yeah, it was, winning last year was a bit of a shock, and then to back it up today was obviously really good. Having a new coach and a lot of unknowns this year, it was good to finally come through in the back end of the year and have some good results. So yeah, it's been a good start to Aussies, and hopefully we can continue that through over the next couple of days.
And talking about defending your title as well, is it something, did you feel the pressure or the expectation all this year, or you just wanted to enjoy it? Yeah,
yeah, I think so. There's always a little bit of pressure there, especially being on the same beach. There's a little bit of pressure there, but just got to try and stay calm and stay focused, and yeah, it was good to come away with it.
How have you found the transition from under-19s in Opens? Because we talk about it along the water, but in the beach section, how have you found that personally? Obviously, you've made it quite well, but have any sort of challenges associated with that you've found personally?
Not really. I think just when I was younger, I just tried to race as much as I could. I think that really helped me transition into the open field, because I'd race them as much as I could in the younger age groups, and just to carry that into Opens, it sort of wasn't as much of a shock as it normally would be.
And on the sideline today, you had your dog there. And would you say that you share the same personality as your dog? Yeah.
Very similar. He's got a very similar personality to me, which is always good.
It is a golden retriever as well.
It is a very big golden retriever. Yeah.
Asher, the first thing you said this afternoon, especially when we saw the vision of that race as well, was talking about a stumble at the start. Now, to my eyes, I don't see it, but talk us through that race for you and how it all unfolded. It's over in the blink of an eye, but I can imagine for you, it feels like it's happening in slow motion.
Yeah, it probably, compared to other races earlier in the day, it probably wasn't my best race. There was only a slight stumble, but to bring it home as I did was always good. And yeah, I was happy with the results. So.
How does it feel sitting here watching it now?
Yeah, it's always good to watch it back. Always good to watch it back.
Did you have a moment at any point, by the way, just in that last 20 metres, it was really close there and you're obviously coming home strong. Can you feel when you get in front?
It was super tight coming across the line. I wasn't certain that I'd got the job done, but it heard obviously pretty quick that I did. So yeah, it was definitely a relief hearing those over the speaker.
And we mentioned the budgies before. We've seen a lot of in the 90s where every single Open men's beach sprint finalist. So you weren't just first across the line, you were first with budgies. Is there any specific reason why you're still going the retro sort of feel, or?
Nothing special. It's just, I don't know, a bit of fun. You can create them as you like. So it's good fun to have them on there. Skins don't make that much of a difference, so it's good.
I love hearing this because that's a big thing in ski paddling as well, is that it's the tradition of the sport to wear the Speedos, and there's a bit of a rivalry between those who do and those who don't. There's one unnamed 4-time Australian ski champion, Lachlan Tame, who's now made the switch to shorts this year too. Are we getting banter between the competitors about a tie? I think you should be flying the flag.
I always race in budgies. It's always just a bit of fun, and there's a lot of people that will stick to their skins, but budgies are always the best option, I would say.
Asher, obviously, to go back-to-back, an extraordinary result and an extraordinary reflection of the work that you've put in for you individually, but talk to us about just your passion, your motivation for the team events still to come too, because Northcliffe, I know, is a really proud club when it comes to these team events, and it's something that you love to lead the way on.
Yeah, it's always good. Northcliffe's obviously always had a pretty good team there on the beach, and just trying to get as many good results as we can there. It's always fun. When you've got the team around you, and try and get as many good results as we can.
You've won 3 Australian titles in the beach relay, so how are you feeling about this year's team?
Yeah, good. We've got a few good guys in there, so just put our best foot forward and run as fast as we can, and hopefully we come across the line first.
Well, the only thing that's left to do is for you to rest up and get ready to do that. Thank you so much, Asher, for joining us on Afternoons at the Aussies as well.
No worries at all.
Congratulations once again. The Open Male Beach Sprint Champion, Asher Ward from BMD Northcliffe. We will be back in just a moment to begin to wrap things up on this Thursday edition of Afternoons at the Aussies.
Dear Alex, where I live, we like to get up and enjoy the snow. What about where you live?
Get up and ride, Alex.
Get up and surf.
Caramel latte for Alex.
But I don't drink coffee.
Yeah, you do.
Ooh. Dear Thorsten, where I live, we get up and Gold Coast. Can we get ice cream?
And that is day 2 of the Aussies here at North Kira Beach, now out of close. As I mentioned earlier, there was so much uncertainty in terms of what races we were going to see today, how the races were going to unfold in these conditions, but certainly a lot of those questions have been answered now. As of this point in time, we do not have an updated schedule for tomorrow. That will be landing shortly, but we are expecting female Taplin races, we are expecting iron races, we are expecting board relays or ski relays if not both, to be ran tomorrow. It's shaping up as a really big day.
Yeah, it's going to be a huge day, and obviously as we get further and further into the program, we're going to see more exciting races, more semi-finals, more finals, so cannot wait. We've got a huge 3 days to go of the Australian titles, which, yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, I can't believe that. Now that I'm
Flying
hearing it said out
Actually,
loud,
that's
3
gone
days
quick.
to go is absolutely unbelievable. A quick word of the conditions now as well. So it was smaller today than what we expected when we arrived here at North Kira Beach. We are expecting it to drop off, I don't want to say significantly, but we are expecting a fair drop-off again overnight as well. Of course, we've had winds out of the north, fanning North Kira Beach here all day too. So some of that power out of the south is starting to subside, and we're going to see more traditional racing here at North Kira as well. Georgia, what's the transition like? I guess when you're racing in surf, you're going 100 miles an hour, everything's fast and furious, and it doesn't necessarily feel good. How do you reset tomorrow if we do come down here and it's relatively flat?
Wouldn't that be just a complete contrast to what we've seen? But I think it would be fantastic to see that. You'll see some athletes who are really happy that maybe that surf is dropping, others not so happy. So it is really interesting at the Aussies. You have 5 days of racing. So every night when you go home, you really have to just put that day aside and move on to the following. So it's going to be really interesting. I think this wind is still going to hang around. And there will still be some surf, absolutely. I think the tricky thing that we're seeing at the moment is this gutter. It's really tough to get through. We're seeing people coming down waves out the back and not being able to hold it through the gutter. So if that swell starts to decrease, that's going to play even more of a part in races.
And Nath, I guess from the other perspective, for all of our athletes who competed in the beach sprints today, well, they're just kind of coming to terms with the fact they've actually started racing at the Australian Championships as well. What's it like from the beach sprinters in terms of resting, recovery and getting ready to go again tomorrow, because it's such an explosive, fast twitch movement that it's not easy backing up?
It isn't easy backing up, and particularly, as you said, it's really high intensity, and it's very different to the state championships. I know New South Wales, for example, they do the sprints, the flags, the relays all in one day, and they've spread it out over 3 days at Aussies, and they've basically followed the same program for a number of years. So they'll be used to that routine, those who've been here for Aussies before. But the only uncertainty is how many rounds you're going to get. So there's a lot more predictability in the beach section, so a lot more to get your head around. But when things change and conditions change, then you do need to be adaptable. And that's what our surf sports athletes are best at, being adaptable and resilient to the changes that come.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And those changes, as mentioned, will be announced on the Aussies website as well in terms of an updated program as well for all those events that are happening tomorrow. One certainty is it will be back tomorrow, same place, same time, so afternoons at the Aussies. Nathan and Georgie, thank you so much for joining us. And thank you everybody for watching. Congratulations, we are 2 days down at the Open Championships here at the Aussies. For all of our officials, well, they're now a week into their work as well. We cannot wait to see what day 3 brings here at North Kira Beach tomorrow. Thanks for watching.